Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest bread recipe. And in this one I'll show you how to make this stunning chili or jalapeno loaf. And it has a mouth-watering extra chili and cheese crust on top. It's a very low hydration bread, so it's easy to handle. It's quick, it uses simple ingredients. In fact, it ticks all the boxes for an absolutely stunning and delicious loaf of bread. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. I'll leave a link in the description under the video, or you can click on the eye icon top right of the screen to take you directly to the recipe page. I'd also like to thank my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thanks supporters for their very kind help in producing these tutorial videos. I'll be giving you all a name splash and shout out a little later in the video. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. Okay, as always, I'll start by testing that my yeast is alive and well. First, add the sugar to the warm water and mix until dissolved. And now add your yeast to the water and give that a good mix too. Right, set that aside until it activates. If there's no change after 10 minutes, your yeast must be dead and it needs replacing. On to dicing up the chilies. Now I'm using jalapeno chilies, but you can use any chili variety that you like really. You can dice them as big or as little as you like. I like to keep mine around 6mm, that's 1/4 of an inch. And once again, because I'm getting on in years, I'm using one of my cut resistant safety gloves. But as these pairs of gloves are ambidextrous, you only need to wear one on the non-knife holding hand. We do have a special offer on the website at the moment. Spend more than £20 on any of our products and we'll throw in a pair of these cut resistant safety gloves worth almost £7 absolutely free. And that applies to all international customers too. Once chopped, divide the 70 grams of chili into 2 batches, 40 grams to go inside the bread and 30 grams to go on top of the loaf. You'll also need approximately 50 grams of grated mature cheddar cheese. And because it looks a lot better and more appetizing, I'm using a combination of grated cheddar and red Leicester. Okay, on to making the dough. Now I'll be using my stand mixer, but if you don't have a machine, this low hydration dough can be hand kneaded very easily. First, add the now active yeast mixture to a bowl. Next to go in is your softened butter. You can now add the flour, followed by the salt and the chopped chilies. Attach the dough hook and bring it all together. If you are kneading this by hand, place all of the ingredients in a large bowl, roughly mix it all together, tip it out onto your worktop and hand knead it for 10 minutes. Back to my mixer. Once it all comes together, stop the machine and scrape down the sides of the bowl. Now on speed 2, knead the dough for 10 minutes. Knead for the same amount of time if you're making this by hand. And this is what it looks like after 5 minutes. While waiting for the dough, you can grease a large bowl with approximately a half teaspoon of vegetable oil. Well, after 10 minutes, whether you've machine or hand kneaded, you should now have a smooth ball of dough. Turn the dough out onto your bench and form it into a ball. Place your dough ball in the greased bowl and coat it with the oil as shown. Cover the bowl, I like to use a shower cap for this, and allow it to proof for 1 hour in a nice warm draft free spot. time for a little more prep work. And this is one of our bread pans that I'll be using. We recently added these to the store and I absolutely love it. I call it my Goldilocks tin as it produces the perfect size loaf of bread for us. Now these loaf tins are non-stick, but for belt and braces I'm giving mine a good coat of lard too. Once the time's up on this one and only proof in the bowl, turn it out onto a non-floured worktop. Knock the dough back. Now that simply means force all of the built up gas out of it. Now form the dough into a flat rectangle. OK, start to fold the dough back towards you as shown. Keeping it tight, tucking it in and pulling in the ends as you go. You should end up with a fat sausage shape. Now nip the seam together on the base of the dough. Turn it over, straighten it out and carefully lift it into your greased loaf tin. Gently press the dough down until it fills the whole tin. OK, so far so good. Now cover the tin with a dry, lightweight cloth. Leave a loose pleat in the cloth on the top of the tin. This will allow for expansion as the dough rises. Now get it into its warm spot and allow it to proof for 45 minutes. When there's only about 10 minutes left on this final proof, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 355 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. OK, time's up on that final rise. You'll know when it's about ready because your dough should be about 4 centimetres, that's 1.5 inches above the tin. Gently brush egg wash all over the top of the loaf. Now this is simply one small egg well beaten. Be careful not to get egg wash between the dough and the tin, as this could stick when baking. Now take your baker's lame or razor blade and score it straight down the middle of the loaf. Now due to the egg wash this may drag a little, but take your time and score it gently a few times if necessary, just like I'm having to do. Almost ready to go into the oven. Take some of your chili pieces from your 30-gram batch and sprinkle them over the top of the loaf. Now you can add some of the cheese too as shown. And once again, I'm using a little cheddar and a little red Leicester, just for contrasting colours. Don't add it all, as we'll be adding a bit more later nearer the end of the bake. And doesn't that look amazing? It'll also spring quite a bit in the oven too. It'll probably rise another good inch. Now get that into your preheated oven and set your timer for 25 minutes. And while that's baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. Also, the skeleton style oven gloves, now supporting our company name, are also available too. Just check out the link in the description box to our website store if you're interested in any of these items. OK, time's up on that first bake. And it has indeed risen another good inch, maybe more. And it's looking fantastic. Now before doing anything else, increase the temperature of your oven to 200 Celsius, that's 390 Fahrenheit or gas mark 6. And back to the loaf. The first job is to get it out of the loaf pan. Absolutely no problem at all with these new tins, it's popped straight out. The loaf looks amazing now, but we can do better. First thing I'll do is give the loaf another good coat of egg wash. Now you can be a bit more liberal this time. And while the egg wash is still sticky, sprinkle a few more chili pieces over the top. Once that's done, you can add a bit more of that wonderful cheese. Okay, time to get this back into the now hotter oven in what I like to call commando style. Now, if you don't know what that means, I'll let other people educate you in the comment section under the video. Now, I'll give that another 5 minutes to brown and crisp up that crust. And there you go, all done. If you like your bread a little darker, just leave it in the oven a little longer. But this is perfect for us. Right, I'll let that cool on the wire rack for 15 to 20 minutes. And when I come back, I'll cut a couple of slices off and let you see what it's like on the inside. Okay, it's still a little on the warm side, but as usual, I can't wait any longer. Right, time to cut a couple of slices off this loaf. And as you can see, it's still a little warm. All the better in my book. Wonderfully crispy on the outside and soft and light on the inside. Beautiful. Another advantage of this bread, it makes the most wonderful toast the next day. Our son Stephen, who runs the website store part of the business, is absolutely addicted to this bread toasted. Right, I'll try a piece of that end crust with a little butter. It looks so delicious, and the aroma in my kitchen of baked bread and chilies and toasted cheese is truly wonderful. I've been doing this job now for donkey's years, professionally and domestically, and the smell of freshly baked bread just never ever gets old. And I'm not kidding, guys, that is absolutely delicious. The taste of the bread, the cheese, the comforting gentle heat from those chilies is outstanding. I really hope you get this one on your keeper list. It's truly a stunning loaf of bread and so easy to make. An absolute massive thumbs up for this one, guys. And as promised at the beginning of the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Dermot Sloan, Vivian Prankavicius, Leonard Zabinski, Nigel Hollingworth, Eddie McGuigan, Al Phillip, Randall Davis, Dave Archan, Helen Yolo, Marite Wallace, Renee Jenset, Jens K3250, Vivian Tenuta, JDB Nossick, and there's also one who wishes to remain anonymous. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.